The following video that you're about to watch will completely change your mindset and the way that you look at choosing e-commerce products and building a brand in general. This is a consulting call that we recorded and I thought be valuable to put out. So let's waste no time and get straight into it. But yeah, in my opinion, there's three different tiers of winning products. So number three, if we look at it as a pyramid, like the most broad type of winning products you can get. But at the bottom of the pyramid, not to say it's bad, but the bottom of the pyramid would be like viral products, anything AliExpressable, anything that you can get from Alibaba that is just easily accessible, right? Something that probably once you blow it up, it'll be on Amazon in a couple of years, right? Those type of products are good, but I would recommend anybody that has like capital, probably more than 15, 20,000 that wants to start a brand, gets into the second tier. And the second tier is consumables because the LTV is a joke. Now, selling a product, if we go back down to the bottom layer of the pyramid, selling a product one time is great. Maybe they come back once every 6 months or a year. But if you can get somebody to buy a product that they use once every couple of months and it runs out, they need more of it, then the LTV is there. So it's very easy to scale because you know that maybe in 3, 4 months, whatever time frame, they're going to come back. So for example, like dog food, if you could market that in a certain way, that would be amazing because you know that they're going to come back time and time again. Now, the top tier, this is like printing territory, is taking something that is something that people use and they run out of and offering it as a subscription at 20% off. If you can do this, people will just forget about subscriptions. They'll take the 20% off and look to cancel. They'll probably not cancel, or maybe they intentionally have subscribed because they've already bought the product previously and they love it. These kind of offers are like super, super easy to scale because you just know that the capital is coming back in. And what you do is you start to build a monthly reserve. And before you know it, you've got 10, 20K, 30K, 40K a month just in residual every single month without any ads. So every month you're just able to grow like super easily. So bottom layer is viral, great product, maybe Amazon products, whatever. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just think that there's better tiers if you have capital. Then there's, for example, cosmetics, dog food, whatever it is, something that people use again and again. Then there's something that people use on a higher frequency that you can get them to subscribe and get 20% off the product so that they feel like they're getting a steal. And that is the top tier. Like some of the brands that I work with, we have a health food brand and they have 300K a month just in subscriptions. So like it's so easy to scale the business because they know that if Facebook goes tomorrow or Google goes, they're still making 300K a month. Like those, if you can get into that top tier and frame your mind for like long-term success, this is like 3 to 5 year business building. And also not only that, it's super exitable because you're now less reliant on paid traffic. So in my opinion, they're the top three tiers. Not to say any of them are bad, but yeah, that's what I think.
That's amazing. Just so consumable products being the second phase, the second tier, and then the third tier is consumable products which are being used more regularly and you put on the subscription. Does that mean you could turn a consumable product, so you could turn a tier two product into a tier three product?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Just make sure that people can subscribe. Like there's a
Just adding is tier two, adding a subscription offer on top would make it tier three. Am I correct?
Yeah, it will make it essentially top tier. The only reason that I say get one that's got a higher frequency of use is just because it's going to make more sense to subscribe, right? I know,
Yeah.
and this is a hypothetical. I know, there's no subscription like toothpaste companies. Actually, I think High Smile do something like that. But you know, that type of product, not saying go out and drop ship to like to everyone that's watching this, don't go drop ship toothpaste. You'll have a very hard time. But if you can get something that's used at that frequency and makes like sense to subscribe so that they get it every single month, you don't want to take a product that, in my opinion, is unsubscribable. Like, for example, if you're selling wigs for females, right? Don't just add a subscription because like that's not going to make it top tier. You've got to think about the frequency of how people are going to purchase this. Yes, like a wig is something that people might buy every 6 months or 12 months, but they don't need it every month, right? It's not like hair loss treatment, or it's not like snacks that come in a box from Japan, and it's not dog treats, and it's not CBD oil that you can, I don't know, get your wife to calm down with. Like it's not something that you need to use in a high frequency. So you need to make sure when you're looking at that second tier, and you need to think, is this something that people need every month? Maybe it's not, and that's fine, and that's just the business. But if you can get into that top tier, that's where the crazy money is at, in my opinion. And not only that, it primes it so easy for exit because whatever people are buying, they know that you've got 100K a month, 200K a month just in subscriptions if everything else goes bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Do you have any other questions on that?
I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, identifying these products. So someone has got the funding to start a brand. They want to aim for a tier two or tier three product. They have the capital. What route would you take to actually identify where opportunities are?
Yeah, so first of all, I'd start categorizing those high frequency reusable kind of categories. Number one's makeup. Number two is any kind of cosmetics, pet products, food products, and health products. All of those are like the golden five. Start there, reach out to suppliers, say that you have some capital on AliExpress. Like just, I know a lot of people don't like to speak to suppliers in, a kind of non-professional basis, but I would say speak to some suppliers that are within that within those five niches that I've just spoke about, and just ask them if there's any hot sellers you have a lot of capital to put in. Like these suppliers want you to spend money with them, they'll direct you in the right way. But I would say all the typical drop shipping winning product criteria should apply to the product. That's where you should start. But those five niches that I just spoke about, you should apply them to those niches. I saw a company recently come up on Facebook. I could not believe it. It was like CBD dog treats so that your dog doesn't have anxiety and you can subscribe to them every month. I I don't know if that product is just a kind of fugazi product, but the idea of it's amazing. Like I saw that and I was like, this is really smart. And it's like I had a look on Alibaba, I found the supply within like 3 minutes. So I'm not saying for anyone that's watching this to just go and rip off that brand, but if you look at those five niches that I've just spoke about, for anyone watching this, just go back and just take some notes. Those niches are, in my opinion, high frequency, but high consumer frequency. But what I would do is, first of all, when looking at those products within those niches, just apply everything. Does it solve a problem? Does it increase confidence? Can you get it in a timely manner? All of these like drop shipping, winning product criteria, right? If you can apply them to those categories and find something that you're like, this is easily a subscribable product, you'll have no issue.
Amazing. And what do you think about saturated products? So obviously someone sees this and they're all right, makeup. Okay. Now makeup's a space where there's tons and tons of competition. How do you approach that? Do you try and tear into the untapped markets like CBD dog food? Or do you suggest doesn't matter if it's saturated, or do you take a saturated product and then add on a USP, right? Or try and find a new way to position it from a marketing perspective, or do you actually add something onto the product that would make it unique and different?
Yeah, there's multiple ways you can do it. USP is a good one. Do you have some unique twist on the product? Because if a product's saturated, as long as it isn't super saturated, I know earlier we were talking about toothpaste, right? Like, don't like that would be a very, very hard market to get into. And there is a couple of brands that have broke into it, but all they did was put a twist on it, right? There's High Smile that went and made instead of toothpaste that's menthol, now they made banana, strawberry, bubble gum, right? They just took something that was saturated and put a twist on the product. That's what where I would start is looking at things that are saturated and putting a twist on them. And the second way you can do it is niching down. So now it's not just a like let's say for example you have a camping brand, right? And you want to set up a what are they called? Like Udis. Do you remember you know the Udis,
Yeah.
like the super comfortable things, right? Udis, that's a super saturated niche. Like that product has been drop shipped like crazy. But why don't you just set up a store that's Udis that are super niche down, right? Because Udi and all these other brands are just trying to sell the same like blue Udi or a gray one. Like, why don't
Yeah.
we now go into print on demand and you can create like ones for people that are into certain cars or they're a bit of a hippie, so they might want some like reggae kind of designs. Or, for example, there's a really awesome brand that does blankets, like just print on demand blankets, but they're all centered around dub culture, which is like dub and reggae, right? So they've managed to find these people that are into dub, reggae, ska music, and they also are into camping. Now you've just completely gone out of this saturated niche and just taken a winning product and applied it to another niche. So, like, yes, there is on the product side, you can put a unique twist on a product, and generally, it's pretty easy to do that. You just need to get super creative and brainstorm. But the second way to do it is to take something that's super saturated and attach it to a niche, like a super passionate niche. Like, why don't you have Udis that are representative of Christianity or the Hindu faith, right? That like saturated niches, I think people get wrong, and me and you know this, but just for everyone that's watching, they're super like saturated for a reason. Like people want to buy these products. So they're already proven products. Just either put a twist on it or move it into a niche or just do both. Like as I'm like going through this, like I can see why an Udi store, which is already a proven product, if then applied to the Christianity niche or the faith niche or like a blanket company that's applied to the hippie niche or whatever it is niche. There's so many niches out there. Like I can see why those brands do very well because they build community, they connect with people with something that people are super passionate about, and the product's already proven. So yeah, there's a couple of things there. I know I'm kind of overloading you.